With the advance of the artificial intelligence era, the world's largest technology corporations have entered a new and much harsher phase of the race for the future. And today, the focus is no longer simply on smartphones or laptops, but on creating entire device ecosystems in which AI becomes the central element of everyday human life. According to several authoritative industry publications, including Bloomberg, The Information, and Nikkei Asia, giants such as Apple, Samsung, Xiaomi, and a number of Chinese tech conglomerates have in recent years been investing billions of dollars in the development of fundamentally new product lines aimed not at classic smart functionality, but at the constant presence of artificial intelligence in daily life. However, an unexpected twist for the market has been that, according to insiders, a company that stood at the origins of the modern AI revolution is becoming increasingly active in this race: Nvidia. Sources close to supply chains and internal R&D divisions claim that Nvidia is currently developing several experimental consumer devices in parallel, directly related to generative AI, computer vision, and personalized neural networks, although most of these projects remain at an early, closed stage and far from public announcement. One exception, according to contacts at analytical centers in the US and Asia, is a specific product that is reportedly viewed internally as a potential turning point for the entire consumer electronics market. This concerns the world's first full-fledged AI device for the home, which formally belongs to the television category, but functionally goes far beyond the traditional understanding of this gadget. According to insiders familiar with the project concept, Nvidia is working on a device that combines an advanced display, an RTX class computing platform, always-on local AI, and deep integration with cloud-based neural networks, turning the television not just into a content screen, but into an intelligent center of the entire home. Sources say such a TV will be capable of analyzing user behavior, adapting the interface and content in real time, acting as a personal assistant, a smart home hub, and even partially replacing smartphones and computers in everyday scenarios, from work and learning to entertainment and communication. According to leaks, Nvidia is betting on local data processing using its own AI chips, which should ensure minimal latency, a high level of privacy, and a fundamentally new user experience unavailable in current smart TVs from Samsung, LG, or Sony. Several sources in Asian manufacturing supply chains claim that a first working prototype already exists and that the company is considering a closed demonstration for partners in the second half of the year, which indirectly aligns with Nvidia's growing activity in the consumer AI segment and the expansion of its home AI team. If this information is confirmed, the television market could face its largest shift in decades, as traditional industry leaders risk losing their advantage if Nvidia is the first to offer a truly intelligent next-generation device. Notably, according to the same sources, Apple is also working in parallel on its own AI-oriented television device, relying on the Apple Intelligence ecosystem and vision-related developments. But analysts say its project remains at a more cautious stage and is tightly bound to a closed ecosystem. As a result, an extremely intriguing situation is emerging in which two companies with fundamentally different philosophies, Apple and Nvidia, could almost simultaneously approach the creation of a device capable of changing the very role of the television in human life, transforming it from a passive screen into an active participant in everyday processes. Experts note that if Nvidia does decide to make a public announcement and manages to realize the stated potential, this could mark the beginning of a new era in consumer electronics and deal a serious blow to the positions of traditional manufacturers that have defined the rules of the game in this market for decades. We move on to other news from the world of high technology. While most companies are only promising a revolution in humanoid robots, Matrix Robotics is showing not a concept, but a nearly finished product. Matrix 3 is not a show robot and not an exhibition mannequin. It is a next-generation humanoid, designed from the ground up for real work in the human world, with proper proportions, natural movement kinematics, and an architecture built for continuous learning. Its design allows it not just to walk or hold objects, but to adapt to space, understand task context, and act autonomously. Matrix 3 prioritizes scalability over spectacle. Such a robot can be a clone of thousands of others learning simultaneously. And this is where both the main fear and the main intrigue lie. If systems like this begin to be deployed at scale, we will for the first time face not individual machines, but an entire digital working class. Matrix 3 is not the future in 20 years. It is a signal that it is already beginning. Meet Memo, the robot in front of you. At first glance, Memo looks almost toy-like, small, friendly, designed for the home. It does not intimidate, does not dominate, and does not try to look human. But that is exactly where its strength lies. Memo is not a showcase robot and not an exhibition experiment. It is an attempt to embed artificial intelligence directly into everyday life, into the most personal space a person has, the home. It works 24 hours a day, observes routines, remembers habits, adapts to the family's schedule, and over time begins to understand not commands, but intentions. Memo does not replace humans physically. It replaces the need to think about small things. And step by step, we voluntarily hand over control over time, household life, and decisions. Robots like this do not arrive suddenly. They enter quietly, through convenience, care, and comfort. And it is with them that the moment begins when technology stops being a tool and becomes a constant participant in our lives. This is Ongo. Formally, it is a desk lamp. There is no screen, no interface, no buttons, only light and movement. Ongo analyzes human presence, time of day, and behavior at the desk, adjusting the lighting automatically without commands. This is not a smart gadget in the conventional sense, but a physical carrier of artificial intelligence embedded in an ordinary interior object. This is exactly what the next stage of technology will look like. It will stop demanding attention and start working in the background. Ongo shows how AI moves beyond applications and becomes part of the space in which we live and work. This is not a revolution in lighting. It is a demonstration of what a world looks like when computation becomes invisible. Before you is one of the most unusual drone experiments that has literally blown up the internet. In Chengdu, in southwest China, engineer and tech blogger Fan Shisan assembled a swarm of flying blade drones that can lift into the air and follow the movements of their operators' hands. Each blade is essentially a narrow quadcopter with propellers integrated into the body, allowing it to hover and maneuver stably. Control is carried out through a gesture tracking system. A simple hand movement is enough for the blades to rise, form patterns, or change direction. What looks like a scene from a fantasy or kung fu movie actually demonstrates the development of real-time synchronized control of groups of unmanned drones without traditional controllers or interfaces. This is not just a flashy visual trick. Such technologies are closely tied to the evolution of coordinated autonomous drone systems capable of acting as a unified network. Fan's experiment shows how engineering imagination and modern control systems can create not only practical industrial or military applications, but also striking visual effects that raise questions about the future of cooperative unmanned systems. Write in the comments what you like the most after watching this video. Subscribe to the Karo Show channel so you don't miss the next episodes. Bye for now.